is there a space and opportunity for a guy in Shiloh Sanders who is known for getting turnovers? Can he make something happen here? Yeah, man. Look, hey, Shiloh told y'all what it was, and of course, Deion shows up in the number one sibling ranking. Apparently, he's the number one brother. Like he said, we're gonna rewatch that video. He gets first dibs of Deion Sanders going to go visit him, and it really seemed like I was trying to find other Buccaneers videos. I gotta be honest with you, and this is y'all gonna say I'm glazing. I couldn't, I found there's other ones, and they're over here. I got like Ime Ibuka and them doing some different things and stuff like that. Wasn't a lot other videos other than Deion Sanders walking around the yard. You know what I'm saying? And I think a big thing here, if I could yap, and we're gonna look at some of these pictures. Obviously, there's not much, major video to watch. I mean, he's just walking. But I think the biggest thing here is the fact that two positives, right? One, you get to see the legacy, right? You get to see, the great that is Deion Sanders with his son, right? A very, Ken Griffey Jr. moment, LeBron James Jr. moment, right? I know we want to yell about nepotism, and it's very interesting because it seems like y'all only acquired that word when black athletes started participating in it. But I'm happy that y'all are starting to read more books. And when this happens, it seems like there's an uproar, there's an issue, there's a problem. But when I see it, I think it's beautiful, right? That's the other beautiful thing, right? It's a father-son thing. Okay, so forget about legacies and this and that. How about just a dad being able, before he goes and grinds his workout, he gets to go see his son? That's just a beautiful thing. In the same way that I enjoy when you see parents on the sideline for any other NFL player. This is just a great moment to see. Coach Prime going in and reaching out support. And here's the proof. You know what I'm saying? He was number one sibling
it's
status.
Tampa, but it's still your time.
I'm gonna try my best to run a plane and come down and see you, then go see Shiloh, then go to work.
All right, and you're coming to my practice first, so that means I'm your favorite son. All right, thank you.
I'm coming to your practice first. Definitely coming to your practice first.
Yeah, that means I'm the number one son.
You need to send me a schedule of the times of practice.
No, I'll get it for you for sure.
All right.
And I'll make sure whenever you come down here, then I'll knock somebody's head off. All right.
Hey.
All right. Let me kind.
All right. Well.
So, clearly he's staking his claim as number one son because he's the first one to get that invite visit from Deion Sanders. So here he is. Again, not the most entertaining footage. I got to be real with you. I got to be honest with you. But I do think that a lot of people – sorry, that was the other thing. Seeing Deion Sanders healthy, right, healthy and happy, I think a lot of the other things that we saw, even though, he was good, he was smiling or whatever, there's a certain level of health and glow that you see from somebody, right? And I think that – Coach Prime is starting to get that back, right? He's getting that prime, that prime shine back. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait for him to go off on the media. I will be there. I will be seated at all times. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? They're yucking it up, yapping it up. What if Deion Sanders is trying to poach another NFL coach? Huh? What about it? Obviously, you already know I got Warren Sapp down there. Well, what if there's an NFL player snooping around there? Maybe an assistant tight end coach that wants to go up in the world. I don't know. Maybe Deion's a man of multiple types of business at one time. Right? Now, I do want to speak about some of the things, right? We are going to get into the Ime Ibukas, the Ibukas of the world, and just some other general videos too at the tail end. But there's been a common conversation about like how possible is it that Shiloh can forget even, get times on defense. How possible is it that he can even make the team, right? He is somebody who was signed, right, undrafted free agent. So with that being said, there's a lot of people who know, and I think him even the way he went about it, the way he trained about it, the 40 times, the being dedicated, trying to shave it down to a 4.4. I think he knew, like everybody knew, right, that he was not a top prospect, right? We're looking at the end of the draft and or undrafted free agent. So he was blessed to have this opportunity. Shout out to Will Shepard, obviously. Failed physical, but he's now with the Packers, right? Blessed to get this opportunity with the Buccaneers. And it seems like the odds are stacked against him, right? You're dealing with an extremely deep secondary room when you talk about the Buccaneers, and then on top of that, you're talking about the same exact draft class. Or I believe he's also an undrafted free agent. I apologize, out of Marshall, right? So he is that bigger body style, faster, speedier. You know what I'm saying? Rangier guy, at least in Marshall, right? More productive than Shiloh was, specifically, obviously, the last year of Shiloh's Colorado career. So when you have somebody like that, you're dealing with Antoine Winfield's, even though Antoine Winfield's already taken him under his wing, which I think is a great thing. When you're dealing with such a deep a defensive back room, I think it's important to note and understand, like, hey, he does have an uphill battle, but what does that mean in totality, right? So we're gonna watch two videos. One video is just about Todd Bowles speaking about what's it called, the defense as a whole, right? Speaking about like what he's looking for and what he wants out of the defense, and he's talking about getting more turnovers. I want you to remember, because I have the other video. We are gonna watch the other video, but in OTAs, he was saying the same exact thing. He said, hey, I want more takeaways, right? And then Lavonte David is going to speak on some of the rookies this year. So we're going to read these and then kind of react and see where we think, if we can read between the lines, of where Shiloh can get. Is there a space and opportunity for a guy in Shiloh Sanders who is known for getting turnovers? Can he make something happen here? Let's hear it.
With the goal, trying to have more ball hawks on defense, trying to make more plays on the ball, just how encouraging was it, if it was encouraging on day one of camp, to see those takeaways?
Just got to continue them. It's something that comes in bunches. We got to continue them. We got to feed off of them. They got to see it, and they got to feel it, and they got to rally around each other.
And speaking to that, Bryce Hall, obviously he had a really devastating leg injury. Just what's it like seeing him out here?
From what he had to how he came back to where he is now is unbelievable. From what I saw from him, he's a tireless worker. He's in great spirits all the time. So he worked at it, he earned it, and he did a heck of a job today as well.
Absolutely. So that's great. He's looking for more of it. Obviously, Antoine Winfield Jr. got a pick, as well as the cornerback, Zyron McCollin. Cornerback Bryce Hall notching one off Connor Bazelak, right? So that's great to see. So, and again, that's something that he consistently says. He's going to continue to say that. So if we talk about someone in Shador who's specifically his turnover prowess and turnover ability shines with the pads, right? He's less of a, I'm getting picks, and more of a, hey, I'm gonna pop this ball up, I'm gonna get it in the air, I'm gonna do what I need to do, which is again invaluable as someone who's gonna be playing the safety. And hopefully, he wants to be, everywhere. He wants to be able to play that midfield safety, which I think we all know is gonna be a challenge for him. But playing in the box, I think that's where his bread's gonna be buttered, right? I think that's where he's gonna allow himself to add more value, get those turnovers, right? Get underneath those routes. I think that's where his savviness, his instinctualness, right? He's quick, right? And I don't, although we talk about him shaving his 40-yard time, I don't think you can speak about his instincts and ability to play the ball when it's in the air, when it's in his area. So, maximizing those opportunities is going to have to be extremely important for him. But let's hear what Lavonte David has to say about the rookies in general. So, again, I haven't heard this. Is it negative, positive, otherwise super competitive? You know what I'm saying? So trying to hear things to see where does Shiloh fit into a place where someone like Lavonte David's going to know, how and what a pro looks like.
Yeah, for sure. The things that I saw, from OTA to minicamp, a lot of young guys, making plays. Like you said, Benjamin Morrison, Parrish, obviously David Walker, a couple of those guys, can play good football for us. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna get called at some point. You know what I'm saying? So they gotta be able to step in, plug in for us right away. And from what I saw so far, it looks really good. Still a whole long season left, still got to see, but definitely got a smile on my face.
Hey, so that's a real deal vet saying that Benjamin Morrison is already starting to add some value to the defense, and they're looking for more there. And then on top of that, you have the other defensive backs that are seemingly making some plays too. So in the same way that when we talk about other teams, that we're not just gonna boost Shiloh and say, hey, we want him to do the best, because we do want him to do the best and get this opportunity, but understand that he's not just going against bums, right? I think sometimes when we have these conversations and we get so mad at, oh, he didn't make it to the league or this or that, he's not good, he is good, right? I think we kind of remove what we're talking about. We're talking about the highest league of football, right? We're talking about not just some guys, right? We're talking about the guys that do it and have done it at the highest level. So I think that's something that we have to kind of take, not just with a grain of salt, but just kind of incorporate and have all together at one situationship. You feel me? Those aren't real words. So that's dope. But I did forget to put this last video as we do a little bit about, going back in time just to recoup some of the things that Todd Bowles has said, and as well as Antoine Winfield Jr. has said as well. We're going to start with what he said just recently about having Deion Sanders, check him out, check his son playing out. And obviously Todd Bowles has a son who plays as well, or college football, rather.
For me, one of the concerns, father coming to see his son, like all of us would be doing.
Yeah, so I mean, I think Todd Bowles and Coach Prime are cut from the same cloth when you think about it. He's like, hey, it's just normal day, just a father just wanting to see his son. It's as simple as that. That is all it is, right? So we speak about what he can and what he can't do, right? But what about what he can do? So let's speak about the things that he's already said. One about interceptions, right? In his focus on the turnovers. Another about, hey, what can Shiloh do? And then I think even more importantly, what Antoine Winfield has already said about it. This is just a recap.
Yeah, he plays hard. He works hard. He really wants to learn, and he just wants to improve his game. And so that's something that you admire from somebody coming in who wants to learn and actually play this game.
Well, and plus, I mean, you can relate to him in the sense that, you're coming in and you have a famous last name. Like, there's a lot of expectations that come with that, right?
Yeah, I'm sure he understands, and I'm sure he grew up with it. same with myself. But he's a great kid. He works tremendously hard, and can't say enough about him.
Can't say enough about him. And then finish it out with Todd Bowles. Again, common sentiment here about wanting more turnovers.
Getting a hand on some balls is a good thing. We got a lot of ways to go. And they gave up some plays as well, but they're getting their hands on balls in the front line.
And then finally on what Shiloh rather can do to make the team.
Like the rest of the safeties, I mean, he's very intelligent. He's very loud. You can hear him today making calls and everything. So he got a good grasp of things. Day one, it was about 3 or 4 of them that did. He was one of them. But you got to make plays in pads, obviously. That's what it comes down to, knowing what to do and then doing it consistently and constantly getting better every day.
Constantly getting better every day. Now, I do want to add that these are pretty, cookie cutter answers. Shiloh tried to put a little sauce on it too.
Really loud. But that's the number one thing you have to do as a safety is just be able to communicate and just be an extension of the defense coordinator on the field.
And I do want to point out that, he stood out among the rookies, right? This is May 10th. This is also May. This is rookie OTAs, not training camp. So we are going back in time here, right? And I do want to point that out. And going a little more forward in time, June 6th, Buccaneers head coach Todd Bowles had this to say about Shiloh Sanders. He's smart, vocal, and understands the game. He's been doing a good job since day one. So that's just another separate quote. And then, of course, what's it called? That is actually Shiloh Sanders giving Apple Watches. You don't need to know nothing about that. But in closing, I think this was dope, right? I think we've seen for the past, month, whether it's Shiloh, whether it's Shador, we've seen the Sanders be able to take over, right? And I see this, and I mean this in multiple ways, right? Not only was that like the only real video I could find when I really searched up Buccaneers. And actually, before we even get into that, speaking of that, let's watch a few Buccaneers videos. But we're gonna get into that. Here's Mike Evans. Here's Emmanuel Buka getting after it. Right. So not only are they taking over in ways, and man, Emmanuel Buka, I think that boy gonna be nice, man. I think that boy gonna be real nice, man. I think them Ohio State boys is a little different, man. So it's a scary sight to see, man. But as I was saying, it was hard to find footage. It was hard to find footage from camp for the Buccaneers that didn't have to do with specifically Deion, because I couldn't even find nothing for Shiloh. I gotta be real with you. I gotta be honest with you. The Sanders names holds and carries a bit of weight, right? And that's what it's doing here. So this is another institution of him popping in. Institution. No, another instance of him popping up, doing what he does best, being prime time. Happy to see him happy and shining. Hope that Shiloh continues to grow and find ways to get better. But I do think and I do agree that he has a long hill to climb. But the fact that, you know, we've shown you the past of Todd Bowles saying positive things. You've heard his teammates say positive things. You've heard veterans say positive things. So I'm just hoping more positive things happens for Shiloh Sanders. But hey, we're going to be here, training camp, about every single day. So if you enjoy football videos, go ahead and subscribe. Like the video if you like it. Dislike if you don't like it. Hit the bell icon not to miss Nathan. Continue to be great. Continue to be phenomenal. See you next time. Peace.